Hi guys, this is Starcraft and welcome to the second set of ASL Season 14 round of 24 Group C. This is going to be played between Sharp and Royal on the same map, but this is a TVT. Very interesting and potentially very drawn out game between these two amazing Terran players of the post-Gespa era. Of course, Sharp is traditionally the more esteemed player. He's more accomplished. He's more established. He is definitely known for his very inventive plays, especially with dropships. Even in Terran versus Terran, he has a very crazy game versus Sharp. I'm sorry, between Sharp and Flash on a three-player map that was bluish in color. Don't remember the name, where it went into battle cruises into the late games. And Royal, I have to still keep my assessment that he's the best player in the earlier half of 2022. He's so strong. He was strong in ASTL. He was strong in ACM. He was reasonably strong in the first ASL season that he played. I think this is his second season, right? Yeah. Um, so, anyways, let's hope for some really great games. By the way, a few things for you out there. We have seen a lot of new subscribers, so let me just let you know a few things about myself and about my channel, so that you can really heighten your experience and get the best out of watching my casts. First of all of my casts will have English subtitles. The subtitles are generated not initially, but if you watch the video about 24 hours after it was published, they will have subtitles. So please go ahead and choose subtitles, because from the statistic, it looks like only 1% of you use subtitles. I know sometimes I speak really fast, and sometimes I don't, enunciate the words correctly. So if you feel like you are not really catching the things I say, my jokes don't really make any sense, then please go ahead and turn on subtitles. And another fun fact is about 5% of you speak Polish, according to the statistics of my viewers. So I'm thinking about adding Polish subtitles in the future as well. So please stay tuned for that. The second thing is, always when you watch a video, please always read the video description. There's a lot of really important stuff down there, like the link to the previous game in the series, the link to the next game in the series, the link for the overall playlist for the series, those kind of things. And if you really feel like inclined, then you can add friend with me on Facebook. The link is always there. Link to the Broodwar Forever Facebook group. If you want to buy me a coffee, the link is also there. So a lot of really vital information is in the video description. Please, so like other things like the map, what map is there, the players who are in the set, anything else. Well, sometimes I put in a lot of interesting information, so please read the video description. The third thing is, if you ever browse my homepage, my YouTube homepage, you will see a lot of sections. There's always going to be a section dedicated for the current ongoing tournaments, like the current tournaments of KCM, of ASL, blah blah blah. And then there's going to be a section dedicated for past tournaments, if you want to explore past tournaments. Then after that, there's going to be a lot of really interesting stuff, like all of the games by players, all of the games by matchups, and all of the games by map. So if you feel like studying all of the games on Butter, go ahead and dig out the Butter playlist. It's going to be very interesting. If you want to see all of the games played by Royal, there's a playlist for that. Remember that these kind of special playlists are organized from earlier on the bottom and later on top, so you're gonna be a little bit spoiled. So if you don't want to get spoiled, don't watch these special playlists. Go for the regular tournament playlist, like ASL 14 playlist, ASL 13 playlist. Finally, there are playlists for the best games of the year, so best games of 2022. These are handpicked by me. Of course, if you want to add another game to this list, feel free to comment anytime on any video, and I'm going to add it for you. So yeah, that is, I think, some basic information as to how to really enjoy my games. If you have some kind of suggestions on how to improve your experience, please let me know. People have mentioned a few things like uh, remove the Korean voice from the video entirely. I have to reply here for the maybe sixth time. It's not possible. The Korean commentators come in with the original audio, although it might be possible to lower them a little bit. I'm thinking of applying some sort of filtering effects on that, but that is for the future. None of that is going to be incoming anytime soon. So if you have any other suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Um, or and the last thing that I always say with you is this channel, we never know what might happen to it. It might die sometime. So and really, it actually died once and it came back. So the fact that this channel might disappear from the planet of the Earth is not just fiction. It is a real possibility. So please stay connected by adding friends to me on Facebook or joining the group war, the broodwar forever Facebook group. Okay, enough of my rant. This is gonna be the 6th minute. Let's speed up it because I know that in TVT we have a long way to go. It looks like Sharp is the blue Terran located in the top right corner of the map, and Sharp, sorry, that is Royal. I was speaking a bit too fast. And Sharp is a red Terran entered to the bottom right, and it looks like it's gonna be Vulture on Vulture War. This is something that Sharp really likes. He's gonna be on the defensive mode for the time being. Both of the players have not taken gas. Both of them have about maybe 7 or 8 vultures. Looks like Royal, the blue player, has a little bit more vultures, and Sharp has opted to go for Goliath. In this kind of war, the player that makes the switch to tanks first and he gets hit when it's just one tank is going to be at a disadvantage. But if that player switches and gets about 4 tanks, he's going to be in definite advantage. So let's see if which player is going to get to that position first. The vultures from Royal are just camping out right outside of Sharp's Bay. Looks like they're going to be retreating. Maybe vulture speed is done for him. Terran Armory going up now for Royal, and looks like Sharp is going to be moving out with just a small group of vultures and Goliaths. Drop is a potential threat in this game. However, the barracks, especially the red barracks from Sharp, is able to scout a little bit of Royal's main base, so maybe he has a bit of certainty about what is coming from his opponent. Royal's barracks in blue came out a little bit earlier, so excuse me, Royal doesn't have that much of intel as to what is inside of Sharp's Bay. Inside of Sharp's Bay, we just see 3 factories with only 1 add-on. So the first tank is just pumping out right now for Sharp. Royal, on the other hand, is staying very true to his Oli Goliaths, Oli Vultures. His entire fleet of vultures is coming out as well. I think that's easily 20 to 25 vultures. But Sharp has an equally staggering number of vultures. We have some vulture war in the middle of the map, but neither of the players are feeling inclined to cross this bridge, because the moment you cross it, you have this inferior surface area of attack. The barracks floating from both sides is trying to keep tab of what is going on, but it looks like it's going to be Sharp's barracks who has a better view. The other barracks from Royal is just on the periphery of the expansion of Sharp, so it doesn't really have a good view of that. Where's the tank that just came out? Okay, we have more tanks coming out for Roy. Looks like Roy's gonna have a tank surplus here. He has about 3 tanks to defend against the situation, but it's gonna be Sharp who has the high ground advantage, and both of the players are laying mines everywhere. 3 tanks from Sharp with support from vultures. I think is I'm sorry, from Royal is gonna be just enough, and Sharp's gonna take his command center at the 4 o'clock position. Let's see where's Royal's decided to take his command center. Nothing just yet. He has this entire 2 o'clock position mined up, so he has a complete control of that area. However, the mines are also securing the 10 o'clock positions, and Sharp is not yet coming out to snipe. He's gonna coming out and he's not sniping any SCV at the 2 position, but he's gonna try to lay some mines and just delay that base a little bit more. Some of the vultures from Royals trying to cut Sharp's vultures into half, but Sharp has a better maneuver of his enemy, and he's gonna have his base set up first, but he needs to get out tanks. Yeah, tanks are coming out now with a second add-on for the factory, and also the 4th factory coming up, and Royal has a limited time opportunity because it's gonna have more tanks, but it's gonna have an inferior economy. It's gonna be finding himself behind, but if he cannot bust his defensive lines from Sharp, Royal is moving his army left and right, trying to find the best position. He needs to scan the basic 2 o'clock position to clear up the mines. He's coming out with some vultures, but he doesn't know that some mines are there. So those mines are providing a lot of visions for Sharp, and Sharp's base, the 3rd command center is completed at 4 o'clock position. He moved 1 Goliath, 1 vultures, and 1 tank. To careful cover that area. He's got several mines in the bottom side as well. So he has really good information. I'm not sure why Royals is very slow in taking his command center. Maybe he's waiting to get more army to go for a huge bunch. But in terms of supply, both the players are very much close on supply. Looks like finally Royce decided to move out. He's gonna be fighting up against this hill. There's some vultures beautifully blocking these areas, and 1 tank took a mine. from Royal side, and vultures coming out to reinforce. And I think it's not good for Sharp to really defend this area, but Sharp holds anyways. This is the base. It's gonna be in the middle of the map. Okay, looks like this is a floating command center from Royal. We're not paying attention to that. He didn't build it on site. He floated from inside his main base. So it looks like both of these players, trading eye for eye, teeth for teeth, nail for nail. 120 to 1 supply versus 113 supply. Sharp is ahead by about 7 to 8 supply. As well as having a superior map control in this area. He's got even another ram to back up to in case he loses his ram. Good pick up on that tank. We have 1 damage tank in the back, but that tank is being covered by other tanks, and so these vultures would have to reinforce, go back behind. They still have another high ground advantage to defend, but excuse me, they have to back up after the tank pushes way too strong, and these vultures from Sharp is being wasted needlessly, I think. But we have some mine debug, and that was able to clear out a lot of the tanks, and now it looks like Royal is trying to secure this area. A lot of tanks are looking to make a concave. Vultures are all dead now for Royal, and those vultures remaining from Sharp is about to clear out the rest of the army, but Royal, after that exchange, clear out the entire vulture fleet from Sharp, and now Royal is slightly up about 3 supply. His starboard is blinking something. Maybe a dropship at this point. Dropship could be something could be useful here. Sharp has a slight grip on that edge at the mid side of the map, but if he pushes any further, he's gonna be a little bit in the lines of the Terran attack. Looks like Sharp might try to circumvent this by going around and securing the other ramp that is leading to the main central ramp, and this area is gonna be secured with just a single tank. That single tank could hold those areas easily against 2 or 3 tanks. But if it gets into more than that, it's going to be very difficult to fight against. 4 vultures from Royal coming out to discover the location of the 4th command center. They lit some mines and quickly disappear. It looks like Sharp's going to try to bust this area and completely connect the 2 ramps. 6 tanks total, lots of vultures coming out, and this is a well-traded army for Sharp versus Royal here. And the dropship coming out for Royal. Royal is going to drop something in the main, but are those Goliaths going to be able to pick up the dropship? No, the dropship unloads with what? We're not sure. Maybe 2 tanks or maybe just vultures. 4 vultures. Some tanks coming in to help, but those SCVs are being massacred like sheep. When we play Terran versus Terran, I'm always reminded of the classical Greek, the ancient Greek story of Sparta versus Xerxes I, the king of the now present day Syrian, I guess, yeah, army, Persian army in the old days they call it. Because you can channel, you can try to funnel your enemy into a tube, and you can grind them like a meat, like a meat grinder. So this is what you try to do when you play Terran versus Terran. You try to build those kind of funnels, and then you have to make your army channel it through. 1 single tank holding this high ground area, protected by a couple of mines. It's gonna be just fine, but Royal is slowly pulling ahead. He's about by 10 supply now. He's got his new command center set up. He's building another 5th command center at the 10 club position. The first raid is out. Excuse me, for Sharp. So Sharp might be thinking of doing a raid switch. Let's see, but he's already revealed his raid. He's not building. Oh my God! Another delay on that command center. That command center has been delayed for a long time. Another dropship come on. Let's see if that pair of Goliath at the 4 o'clock position are going to be able to intercept this drop, or maybe Sharp's attention is going to split somewhere else. Some Goliaths are here, not really attacking that dropship, and he's not even reacting. He's got a tank right in position to maybe intercept this. His SCV line is already damaged from before, but more Goliaths are coming out. This shows the power of Royal. This kid is really crazy with multitasking and splitting his attention, and we have a huge punch in the throat. Looks like the Persian army is gonna march right to the gate of Thermopylae. This is the city inside Greece, inside ancient Greece, where these 300 Spartans and the 700 Thurbans will make their stance against the huge, vastly superior Persian army that is Royal. But it looks like for now they're going to be holding this. But unlike the other scenario, in real life the army of the opposing force have to retreat because they don't have enough water, And food, these tanks can stay here for as long as it takes, and they can go and even start to mine that base right next to it, which is what Royo is gonna do. Just now he has one science vessels with it. But we have one raid that is be in the vicinity that's gonna be able to try to, I guess, snipe that science vessel. Where's the raid? The raid went somewhere else. Anyways, looks like Royo is up by about one command center now. Sharp is finding it very difficult. He has a commanding lead on this area. Looks like another Persian attack here, forcing it through a very small funnel. But this huge Persian force from Royo is too strong for the Spartans from Sharp, and all of the Spartans get massacred. Sharp tried to reinforce with more Terran from the other side, but he's now no longer have the ramp advantage, but he's gonna have the first mover advantage. One vulture's coming out and attacking those tanks, and they're gonna be laying some more mines, and that was very effective trade from Sharp. So Royo, even though he's got more bases, he's got better supplies, he's got more economy, he's trading a little bit less efficiently compared to Sharp. So if Sharp by some miracle is able to come back, then he's gonna have a better end game to this match. But it looks like Royo's armies is everywhere. He's busting out to the various corridors, but Sharp is holding his side of the map quite well as well. And remember, in Terran versus Terran is always split map situation. So at the current scorecard, it indicates that the 3 o'clock base goes to Royo, but the 9 o'clock base could potentially go to Sharp because he's holding the middle ground quite well. But it looks like another huge Terran army comes out, but they already got splash damage by the tank defensive lines from Sharp, and all of them are dying like crazy. Some Goliaths come out to take some hits as well, but the Terran lines from Sharp is way too strong, and he needs to inch his science vessel a little bit forward. If he's got the first dropship is out for Sharp, so if Sharp drops something in the 3 o'clock space, he can do a lot of damage. We have some dropships coming out, and they might drop some things on the tank line, but no, it looks like they are not going to drop anything on the tank line. They may drop something on the lower ground. Those vultures and tanks immediately get taken out, but at least this area is going to get delayed for a considerable amount of time. We have, well, just a single Goliath coming out, and he's going to be laying some mines in this area, but nothing of serious threat. Looks like Sharp is still trying to secure this base at the 9 o'clock position. The huge, well, not the huge, but a single dropship from Royal is gonna try to find another angle to attack. Okay, looks like the one of the science facilities is falling out, so no more starport production for Sharp. Sharp has the high ground advantage here, but for some reason those D-Matrix tanks is able to make ground against the high ground advantage. Shoroyo is up by about 40 supply now. Counter drop from Sharp. He needs to react fast because this base is gonna get assaulted in about 3 seconds. There's a lot of mines in the vicinity, but I'm not sure if that is gonna be enough or not. The first mine comes out and counter drop. This drop, I think, keeps this area secure, but it looks like Royal from the low ground has a faster siege timing. But some tanks on the left side is helping out a lot. Look at those tanks on the left side. It's doing a lot of damages. And some Goliaths coming up from the top side as well to defend against this David attack. Goliath, David against each other in this crazy battle. But finally, it looks like Royal pushed a little bit too hard. And this base is now just defended by about 3 vultures, 1 tank and 1 Goliath. But more reinforcement coming from Royal. If the game goes on at this rate, it's going to be Royal who bleeds out more. Because he is he's trading very poorly, but oh my god, a double tank, double mine is going to clear out this base, but no, for some mysterious reasons those mines refuse to debuckle, and now it looks like Sharp is gonna be assaulting this base that Royal has had for some considerable time. But those tanks are not able to reach the mineral line, and we once again we see another stalemate. Sharp needs to build more turrets at the base of the 9 o'clock because his enemy is neglecting it for the time being, but they might come back anytime soon, and that time soon is now. A lot of Goliaths, well, not sure how many Goliaths are in the dropship, but a lot of tank is coming out, and is Sharp paying attention? The drop from Royal is devastating. He controls his high ground completely. drives back the rest of the units, and once again Royo establishes dominance of about 30 supply advantage. Sharp comes out with 3 dropship, but they have no place to land because all of the army has already been eliminated, and now he's going to be fighting from the low ground. But he goes for a counter attack at a 2 o'clock position. That base is completely naked. Let's see if there's any turrets in that area. Some turrets are there. They're able to take out a single dropship, but at the cost of losing a lot of SCVs. But Sharp is losing a lot of SCVs in his other base as well. At the 4 o'clock position, he's forced to list several bases at once, but a single vultures comes out with some mines. Another vultures comes out with mines. And is that mine gonna be able to do something? That mine debugs and all of the tanks dies. The game is kind of a little bit back to normal. Maybe Sharp needs to regroup his dropships and drop some more stuff at that tank line. We have a single marine just wandering endlessly in the desert. More dropship coming out. 5 dropships from Royo. So Royo's dropship fleet now totaling 6 is more deadly than his opponent. A single tank and a vultures is clearing out the rest of this unit, but the dropships from Sharp gets here first. He's gonna lay some tanks to do some damage, but those splash damage don't really cut it, I think, because the reinforcing dropships from Royo is here, and Sharp is forced to pull back. Looks like Royo is gonna do a counter attack as well, but more units are coming in from all sides. This drop might be doomed, and looks like Royo doesn't drop his entire fleet. He knows that his drop cannot do the damage that he wishes, so he's gonna pull back and try to defend this high ground area. Okay, the game is a little bit stalemated, but Royo is still up by 1 command center. The command center in the 3 o'clock position. Sharp might is trying to strike it soon because he has some tanks already stationed in the area. He's gonna hit it now, but if the game continues like this, it's gonna be Royo who's left the left side, which is mineral rich, and Sharp who's left at the right side, which is mineral poor. The Matrix tank is buying a little bit more time, but that is going to be the end of that. And Sharp might try to hit the base at the 2 o'clock position as well. We have no tanks so far, just a lot of mines. And at least the mine is gonna be doing a lot of work and some counter drops here, but the tanks are not yet completely siege for Sharp, so he has enough spread out power to deal with this incoming counter drop. And looks like nothing is inside those dropships. No, there's nothing. And Sharp is slowly putting back those dropships are completely empty, and the tanks from the low ground is doing a lot of work, but looks like Royo's gonna do a counter drop here, but Sharp comes back beautifully. How the hell does he muster so many forces? And these tanks are sieging as well as the support from the vultures. The vultures are laying a lot of mines, and those tanks are gonna melt in an instant. It looks like the veteran Sharp is a little bit stronger than Royo. Royo is now down to how many bases? 1, 2, 3, 4, just 4 bases. The base at the 2 o'clock is not really mining anymore. The command center is already destroyed. So just 4 command centers. The other one is burning in the 3 o'clock position. Sharp also has 4 bases. One is lifting at the 8 o'clock position. So 4.5 bases for both of these players. But Sharp has fresh minerals. Royo decided to attack and try to get fortified on this left side. But the tanks from Royo siege is slower than Sharp's tanks. Royo tries to come on the other side, but he's facing a lot of siege positions and he's pushed back. Royo is still up by about 6 supplies, but all of those supplies gonna vanish because his base are gonna mine out a little bit sooner, I think. Let's see what is gonna be happening. Sharp needs to take the base at the 9 o'clock position. 3 o'clock position is doing just that. He's taking that base away from his enemy, but it's gonna be Royo who controls his left side a little bit. And air superiority continues to rant in Royo's favor. He has still 5 or 6 dropships in total. He might drop this area, but the tanks is spread out so well here. It's gonna be very difficult for Royo to find an angle of attack. Sharp needs to send more SCVs over there to build some turrets to help with static defenses. Just 4 dropships here from Sharp. At this stage of the game, both of the players have 4 to 5 comsat stations easily, so they might find can find exactly where their enemy is located. More dropships come out here, and it looks like Sharp is gonna try to drop over the tanks, and that area is also very dangerous because it's gonna give access to Royo's main base, and that main base I think don't have anything covering it. But looks like Royo's gonna skip the entire eastern side of the map. He's gonna go for the west side, but some tanks are coming in from both sides, but Royo already has a well entrenched position just on the high side of that ramp. Sharp comes in with some vultures to clear out this single tank. This is an overkill. Didn't really need to have a need to do that. More of Royal's unit is going to control this high ground, but that is going to be the end of that attack. More dropships coming here. Let's see what we have over on this side. This dropship have something, but is it going to be enough? More units are coming in from all sides. Looks like Royals is finding itself sandwiched. Where the tanks from the top side, maybe they were way too far and they cannot access this area. If the drop from Royal is completed, it's going to be the end of this attack. But looks like that drop is coming in a little bit too late for my liking. And the other units is taking the long route to come in. Royal is wasting a lot of energy, and Sharp is now up by about 20 supply. The other tanks coming to reinforce, and they even siege before Royal's tanks siege. A single Goliath is there to two Goliaths is there to help support, and a splash damage is going to clear out the remaining two tanks maybe. But no, Sharp holds his position, and for the first time in this entire game, Sharp is up by about 20 supply, but Royal has the entire left side covered, with the exception of the base at the 8 o'clock position, and Sharp might even take this base, which is really dangerous in terms of strategy, because it gives you a direct access into Royal's the main base of Royal, with all of the factories and all of the supply depot and all of that stuff. So this is imperative that Sharp needs to halt the advance. Royal needs to halt the advances of Sharp's army right here. But it's going to be very difficult. And this last tank is going to fall before the Goliaths fall, and Sharp might even advance further into that high ground. But he needs to be careful, because there might be a backstab. This area might get dropped with some dropship, and that might be what Royal is thinking inside his mind. Units moving through, but what happened to the dropships of Royal? I'm not so sure where they are on the map now, but we have counter drop first, and this counter drop is going to secure this area on the high ground. This high ground has a double purpose. It defends the base at the 8 o'clock against attack from the high ground, and it also menaces the base at the 9 o'clock, and at least it's going to buy a lot of time, but looks like these tanks are too lonely in their efforts. The tanks on the southern side are not coming in to reinforce just yet. Some Goliaths are also coming here to help, and that is going to be the end of this. But looks like Sharp's adventuring on the eastern side of the front is continuing stronger and stronger. And if he get a secure position on this base to have a lot of minerals remaining, he can directly drop into Sharp's Royal's main base, and that will completely flip side this map. It is going to be looking west versus east for very crazy. Looks like Physics Lab is ready for Royal. Doesn't mean he's ready for some kind of battle cruiser switch. It's possible, but he probably doesn't have the money to support it. Huge punch by Royal into the base at the 7 o'clock position. Some tanks are entrenched here, but they don't have the support of Goliaths, nor do they have any side defenses like turrets, and so it looks like Sharp is gonna lose the base at the 7 o'clock position, which he doesn't really mind, because that base is almost mined out. But that is gonna give the access into the base at the 8 o'clock and make that base completely vulnerable. But we have what I have feared the entire game, which is the direct assault onto the main. And this is going to take out a lot of supply depot and waste a lot of Royal's time, because it attacks right into the spawn area of the tanks, and those tanks are going to take needless damage. Some vultures coming in to support, but no, it doesn't really help, and those supply depot are going to fall in the blink of an eye. Sharp is slowly but surely pulling the thread on the needle, pulling the trigger on the gun, pulling the switch on the light bulb. And more vultures are sneaking in here. I'm not so sure how the hell they could arrive, because that entire area is in Royal's territory, but they're doing a lot of damage and a lot of drops coming here for Sharp. Sharp, the veteran player, proves to be too smart and too outwitting for his opponent Royal. Royal GG despite an amazing lead in the early game. This game was freaking ridiculous, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you liked it. Have a good day, and see you in the next set. Bye bye.